Yo, what's up guys? How you doing? Welcome back to another Nintendo Switch video. Hopefully by now you guys have seen some of the coverage on the channel and hopefully you guys are as excited as I am. But in today's video, I am joined by the one and only Arekkz from NintendoLife. How you doing, buddy?
Hello there, lovely people. I'm very well, thank you, Arekkz. How are you?
I am good. I'm so excited. I'm pretty sure you're the same. We're buzzing right now. It is Nintendo time. Return of the King. The Nintendo are back.
That's
so
one
good.
way of putting it. I've been buzzing on nothing but pure adrenaline for the past couple of days, and it's absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited about the Switch, and I just can't wait to hear any more news about it. So it's going to be really, really special.
It's going to be. I mean, you talk about adrenaline. I remember, like, obviously, you probably did the same thing. The day of the conference, you know, we all got up at like 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock, and you know, any other day you'd just be tired by the evening. But I was still going on adrenaline after that event, so that was a super awesome day.
Well, you had the luxury of being able to go, being able to leave at a reasonable time. I didn't get out of the thing until 7.
Oof! Ouch! Ouch!
And and then obviously had to take the train home, which is no short thing. And so I didn't get home until about 10 o'clock.
Ooh! Oh, ouch. Okay, fair enough, yeah.
And then I stuck out another video because you gotta do it.
You gotta do it. So I figured today, to everyone watching, we are just gonna chat because we've obviously done a lot of coverage. If you guys have seen things, specifically on both of our channels, of course you can find links to NintendoLife in the description box down below. You can find coverage for, all the different games, the hardware, the UI, like everything you want to know. You can check out both our channels and you can basically find out all the information. But we thought what we would do, given that we're both excited, is just have kind of a good old chat about the console, what we enjoyed most from the event, what we're kind of looking forward to most, maybe what we're hoping to see further down the line. So let's kick things off. Super quick recap. March 3rd is, of course, release date, so that's really exciting. And Zelda, okay, let's start with that. Zelda being a confirmed launch title. I'm so happy about that because obviously I'm pretty sure you would have seen there were some rumors floating around a few weeks before the presentation. Some people saying that it might slip from being a launch game. Some people saying that it might be a launch game, but it might not be launched in Europe. So nice to have that confirmed, right?
Yeah, but I mean, there've been so many rumors flying around that. I mean, this generation with the Switch and everything. I've not been in the industry too long, but even so, I've never heard so many rumors about a single console. It's been, and I think, to be honest, Nintendo have probably been playing it to their advantage, being hush-hush about it so that it gets people fired up and more information gets flying around. It keeps people talking, and I think they wanted to keep that going, understandably. Exactly.
I mean, especially when you consider that, we had the reveal last year, and then it was basically radio silence until this event. So, there's been it hasn't really kind of dulled down since then. So that was good. But obviously, we're huge Zelda fans. Being a launch title means it's going to have a very strong start. Thoughts on Zelda Switch so far? Obviously, you've been hands-on with it, right?
I did indeed. Unfortunately, us over here in the UK, we got a completely different build to all the lovely people over in the United States. So we were on the old build, so we couldn't even leave the plateau.
Oh yes, yeah. That was a bit of a shame because you guys might have seen some gameplay of some horses, some like gliding off the plateau because that's of course
we got none of that.
Yeah, we got. Yeah, I mean, it was still nice to see it on Switch, but it is a shame because there is a whole world out there that we just want to start exploring and. Sadly, we didn't get to witness it. But hey, maybe that keeps it fresh. It's going to be that much more enjoyable when we finally leave the plateau on March 3rd, right?
Yeah, indeed. And we're also, I mean, let's be honest, you and I, we're going to be playing it long before, most people listening to this will be playing the full game. So we can't argue too much, can we?
Yeah, no, true. But yeah, I mean, it was nice to see it running on Switch, right? It was obviously... Yeah, I mean, we saw it we saw it before... On the Wii U, we were at Nintendo's headquarters. I think they did the event like post E3, right? And obviously, I mean, it's so nice to see it in handheld mode. It looks incredible.
I haven't had a chance to see it in handheld mode. I was really rushed on my time. I've heard that it's absolutely gorgeous, and of course I've seen the screen of the Switch is really a thing of beauty. I'm sure anyone who's been watching any of NintendoLife's videos will know that I've been harping on and on and on and on and on about the screen, but seriously, it really is that good.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, beforehand, right, when people were like, oh, how are you going to use the Switch? I was like, I'll definitely use the portable functions because I enjoy portable gaming, but I was like, Zelda, I'll always play at home docked on a full screen. But I was like, after playing it handheld, there will generally be a lot of times I will play it portable. It's it's really, really nice. I mean, one of the things I was chatting to Chandra from Nintendo about this one is like, obviously you've got the 100 shrines in the, or like over 100 shrines in the open world. And, we know that in Breath of the Wild, you have to go around gathering resources for your food instead of heart containers. So that's the sort of thing that I think would be perfect for a commute, right? You're on the train, you decide to go and farm some mushrooms and stuff and complete some small shrines. And then when I get home, I'll probably do the big temples and boss battles and stuff.
Yeah, that's a sensible way of doing it.
Yeah.
If you wanted to be sensible about it. Or you can have fun and just play the game on the train.
That is true. But there's
get yourself some nice Bluetooth headphones if they work. We don't know yet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, at least there's a headphone jack on the top of the console. That's one of the things actually, because people were asking about is there a headphone jack in the Pro controller, which there isn't, which is a bit of an odd one. I mean, we'll probably get onto at some point the online thing. It's a bit of a strange design choice to go down the whole mobile phone app route.
Well, I personally think it's just a really good idea. I don't know whether it's because it's just how I tend to play games. Sort of I'll be chatting to my friends on Skype or Discord or something like that, and I'll have that. I'll use my phone for that. And so for me, it'll be a very easy transition. Fair. And also, but sort of people have been talking about, sort of people are advertising headsets with microphones on them for use on the Nintendo Switch, which suggests that there is use for a microphone input. Okay. So it's possible. Now, this is just me, sort of throwing stuff against the wall, seeing what sticks. This is not confirmed or anything like that. I want to make that absolutely clear. I wonder whether you control the chat and everything from your phone, and you have the option of using your phone as the microphone and input and the sound output for chat, or you just control the rooms with your phone, and then it can be controlled. Essentially, the feed essentially comes through your Switch, so the audio is still going to your Switch, but for like all the menus and everything, to save having to bring something up and stop your game, you can just really quickly whip out your phone and go, okay, let's kick Arekkz from the chat because he's talking about Splatoon again. But things like that, and I think that would be a really intelligent use of it. Of course, no idea if that's actually what it is, so maybe I should just shut my mouth for now. But
yeah, I mean that would be quite nice. It would be like, or whether they eventually kind of put like an app on the console for it, because it would just be, it's nice not to have. I mean, some people were like, well, if I'm going to use my phone, I might as well use Discord or Skype anyway. But either way, I mean that's something that they haven't been very kind of clear on online just yet. So hopefully, somewhere between now and in the next 44 days, they might try and clear up some of that confusion. But
it's only 44 days.
Yeah. All right. It might not be 44 days when this video goes out. It might now be like, let's say it'll go live in about 4 days or 40 days, something like that.
Alex, you're not allowed to tell people that videos aren't uploaded the same day that they're recorded.
Is that like YouTube version? Is that like YouTube equivalent of breaking the fourth wall?
It's smoke and mirrors. You gotta keep it. You gotta keep it hush. You gotta shh.
Oops. So sorry, I made this today. Here's what I made earlier.
You're gonna get the YouTube goons come around and, I don't know, unspeakable things maybe. But anyway, shall we move on? Because we're
back to the event. I mean,
getting a bit sidetracked,
Yeah, just a little bit. So back to the event. Obviously, Zelda we could talk about like no end, but let's move that to one side for now because that's obviously a big winner. That's just like, we can't wait for that. From the event, like we had 1-2 Switch, we had a load of third-party games, we had Splatoon 2, Mario Kart. What is your other highlight from the event?
Ooh, Splatoon 2.
Yeah?
Yep.
Any particular reason?
I like Splatoon.
Fair enough.
No,
thanks for that. Yeah, and there you go. That was Alex from NintendoLife.
It's for me, Splatoon 2. Splatoon is a fantastic game for the Wii U. It uses the Wii U gamepad in a really sensible way. Not too gimmicky, but at the same time taking advantage of the motion controls and things like that. And Splatoon 2 is just that natural evolution.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing what other, sort of like single player things they've got going on, because the multiplayer for the original Splatoon was fantastic and the single player was fun, but it was basically an extended tutorial.
Yeah.
With the exception being the final boss, which was one of the most enjoyable final bosses in video games for the past decade, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was really good actually, yeah.
Yeah, DJ Octavio. I think with DJ Octavio, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm so bad with names, but
yeah, the octopus.
Yeah, that's the exactly.
Yeah, But no, he was just a great boss. Had real character and charm to him. But also, sort of somebody playing Splatoon for the first time, really quite challenging as well.
Yeah, I saw videos of like some people like streams of people doing that at the time, and they were kind of struggling. So yeah.
I mean, sort of going back to it now, it's just sort of, oh yeah, come on, DJ Octavio again, let's just get this over with. But that's because I found out recently because I wrote a little article on NintendoLife about Splatoon 2, and I found out that I've done 400 hours on Splatoon.
Ooh, wow, that is considerably more than I have. I played. I love the game. I played it when it first came out, but I think for me, it unfortunately came out at the wrong time because there was other stuff at the same time, so I didn't dedicate quite as much time as I would have liked onto it.
Now you see, that's the problem with being a multi-platform channel.
It is, yeah. If only I could just like lock myself away.
Too much to cover in not enough time.
I'll tell you right now, when Zelda comes out, I'm taking a week off. I'm like, nothing is going to get in my way of that. But no, I mean,
and that's when the Division 2 comes out.
It might be difficult. Zelda might still have to take priority for that one.
Ooh. Strong words.
We'll see. But yeah, I mean, no, I agree. Like, I mean, obviously, there's new abilities, new weapons in Splatoon, and it was, I mean, again, runs incredibly well. Also,
it does, yeah.
Is very nice. I mean, I played it on the big screen, but I was sitting next to my friend who's playing it on portable, and it just looks, I mean, like obviously it's got gyros in it if you want to play it that way. That personally, that's the first thing I turn off when I play Splatoon. I prefer kind of analog controls.
What?
I know. I'm sorry. They forced me. The demo station. They were like, nope, you can't turn it off. You've got to use gyro controls. I was like, don't do this to me.
But gyro controls are superb.
Oh no, they're great.
In Splatoon, they're just outstanding.
Yeah, no, they're really good. I mean, they work really well in the game. I've just never really been a fan of like I want to sit there and not move and just move my thumbs.
So basically, what you're saying is you're lazy.
Possibly, yes. It's entirely possible. That is what I'm saying. In the nicest possible way, yes. Also, like jumping over quickly, or like off Splatoon. I think for me, like one of the highlights definitely got to be like Mario Kart as well. I mean, I know it is effectively a glorified port, but it is a really good one. I mean, like you get all of the content. So to anyone that's say spent money on the DLC and stuff, if you buy the deluxe version, you get all the content that came before. So Link, the new tracks, the other characters, plus. Obviously, there's not new tracks, but there is the balloon battle mode coming back. So there's new arenas for that. Just nice to have that back as well. But the main thing is like it just runs so incredibly well. I mean, it's 1080. It's like basically locked 1080-60 on full screen, 720-60 on portable mode, and portable. Like when they had that setup with like 8 people in a ring. I mean, that's just it. Yeah, it's again, it's another one of those games. I'm a huge Mario Kart fan, and I think that's going to get a lot of time from me. Yeah, exactly. But,
yeah, I must admit, I unfortunately did not get an opportunity to play it.
Oh, no, really? Okay.
I was really rushed to that event because I was trying to do so many different things at the same time. Yeah. And much like your good self, I had an interview as well with Nintendo UK.
Oh, yes.
And I was rushing around, running on, coffee fumes and nothing else. And unfortunately, I just, didn't get an opportunity to play Mario Kart. I missed out on so many of the great games, and I completely overlooked Snipperclips.
Oh yeah,
I discounted it. I thought to myself, it looks like a nice little sort of eShop game, but I'm not going to bother too much with it. I am so disappointed in myself that I did not play that game because it looks incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I did the same thing. Like, I walked past the station numerous times, and it was like free, and I was like, I'll check it out later, and. As soon as I got home, everyone was raving about it. Probably more so than like Zelda and Mario Kart. They were just like, "You have to play Snipperclips." So I watched some videos. It's like, this actually looks quite fun. It
does, yeah. I'm so gutted that I didn't get to play it. And did you actually get to play it at all yourself? I'm guessing probably not.
No. Snipperclips, I looked over. Yeah.
We are fools, aren't we?
We are fools. However, one thing that we both did play, which also brand new IP. Arms. That's actually really good. Again, like I went into it with the kind of typical like, all right, it'll be like Wii Sports boxing. I'll stand up for a little bit, I'll punch at the screen, I'll be like, I'll play it for a little bit with friends, and I'll put it down. There's actually a surprising amount of depth to that game, right?
There is, yeah, and also the final version. They're really thinking about this, and I think they really do want to try and make this a sort of a recognizable IP and a real genuine contender for fighting games, because the final game will also come with button controls.
Yeah. So if you don't want to stand up and motion, yeah, exactly. That's really cool. Yeah.
And I think sort of the motion controls are really good.
They are.
And they'd be much more fun if sort of you were playing with a friend and you just wanted to muck around for a bit. But if you're serious, you got your buttons.
Exactly. Yeah. I definitely agree. I feel like if you're playing it on your own at home, you probably switch to pro controller and whatnot, and then enjoy it that way. But yeah, it would. It's definitely a party game, but there's definitely like one of the things that like some people might have seen, and especially if you watch, say, like B-roll footage or kind of over the shoulder footage, it can look like you basically just like punch wildly at the screen. But the Joy-Cons are so accurate. I mean, the way that if you twist your wrists ever so slightly, your punches are going to curve. So there's a lot of like hidden moves there as well. You got little kind of dashes and charge moves and I mean, even did you get a chance to play in the I know everyone played in basically the standard kind of square arena, but did you get a chance to play in the long stage?
No, I saw some footage of it online and it did look really interesting.
Well,
and
the funny thing about it... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say there's also one of the arenas where there's actually sort of like springboards around the outside.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. That was really awesome.
And I thought to myself, so if it's, sort of you get knocked really far back, then you bounce back onto the thing. And then I played against the charming James Bowden, who's probably sunk far too many hours into it already. Bless his little cottons. But, and he was actually using them to his advantage. And I was like, all right, slow down. I don't know how to play this game that well. Of course, I've been, I said, do you want to, do you fancy a game of arms? And I said, do you want a game? Do you want to lose at a game of arms? I was a bit cheeky, to say the least.
No, well, I mean, because the reason I kind of spoke about the long stage is because of the way that you can control the way your arms curve. You can actually, if someone hides behind a pillar in that long stage, you can curve a punch behind the pillar and basically slap him in the back of the head.
Nice.
It's brilliant. It's quite cool. But yeah, no, I mean, definitely, I think that's definitely. I feel like that would have been a good game to bundle with the console, either that or 1-2 Switch. But I mean, I know that Reggie spoke about how they couldn't feasibly bundle a game with the console and keep it at the price point it is.
I don't personally believe that, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I don't. I completely agree. I feel like, I mean, every console I think I've ever bought, I've always got a bundle, right? There's always like some game, even if you don't want the game. I mean, like, look, you buy the Wii and you got Wii Sports. I played Wii Sports for a few hours, but it came with the game, right? I feel like there's a bit of a missed opportunity because, like 1-2 Switch, for example, there are some really clever games. I mean, we'll speak a little bit more about them in a second, but really clever games in there. But I genuinely just don't think I'm going to go and buy that game on the shelf.
No, it's not worth 40 quid. I mean, maybe if you could pick it up for 20 quid.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then maybe, but even so, 40 quid that's the same price as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Precisely.
Which
exactly,
is insane.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be the same kind of price as like, oh, no, it'd be different price as Zelda, isn't it? Yeah, but I mean, but either way, same price as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which will give you infinitely more, like, for example, 1-2 Switch is the only sort of thing I'd play, like, at a party or something, but if I had it in my console, I'd probably play it a little bit myself, just to kind of check out some of the things, because the thing is, 1-2 Switch is, like, to anyone that's kind of seen gameplay and thought, this looks a bit weird, it's more so than anything, kind of like a tech demo for what the Joy-Cons can do, and the Joy-Cons are very, very impressive pieces of tech.
They are, I do think a lot of people have maybe discounted them as being Wiimotes in, different packaging, but they really are so far beyond a Wii remote. The comparison it's apples and oranges. It's not even apples and oranges. It's apples and something it's apples and deodorant.
Yeah,
it's that different. Well, maybe that might be going too far, but even so, they're so far advanced compared to the Wii remotes. Even with the Wii Motion Plus, they're far, far beyond anything the Wii had.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, and those games go great lengths, especially like, I mean, speaking to Aaron from 2K, he's like a massive Zelda fan. Like he was going crazy about the game where you effectively have to count little like marbles inside the Joy-Con, and like
that is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's just mind-boggling to get your head around. It's like, it's obviously a controller. There's obviously nothing, like, not actually marbles inside, but like when you're tilting it, it's like, how is it doing this? Like, and that's obviously the HD Rumble, right?
Yeah. No, I must admit, I worried about the HD Rumble being any good. you know, sort of, I thought maybe, you know, sort of, oh, you know, it'll be a nice little aside, but I can't see developers doing it. But considering how accurate it really is, I really hope developers do take advantage of it. And, you know, sort of, I had a couple of ideas spring to mind. I've actually got them written down on a whiteboard, of all things, for a future video. So you got a nice little preview here, unless it goes out before this video, in which case, you know, whoops. But it's things like, you know, sort of the HD Rumble could be used for things like, for genuine gameplay, like lock picking.
Yeah.
So, for example, you know, sort of if we'll use Skyrim as an example, although, you know, this is just, you know, pure speculation and just throwing ideas out. You know, in Skyrim, how you have the lock picking little mini game, if you like. If you had that, but it was just the view of the outside, you can't see whether it's right, but you can feel whether it's right.
That could be cool.
Because, you know, sort of, and, you know, things like, also, you know, if you're playing a horror game, maybe your heartbeat.
Yes, yeah, that's true, that's true.
You know, and you would feel it through your hand like you would feel your pulse as though you were actually, you know, a little bit frightened, or maybe a lot frightened, depending on how you play games. But also, you know, like, blind, if you know, you can have blind games where, you know, sort of you've gone into this, you know, you're running from a monster or something, you've gone into this you know, into a basement or something, there's no light at all, you can't see anything on the screen, but you can feel the wall through your Joycon.
That could be clever.
So you can feel as though your hand, you know, as though you were running across a stony wall or something like that, and then suddenly it ends and you think, oh, it's gone. Have I wandered away, or have I... You know, there are all these really interesting ideas you could do with them. And even just something as simple as footsteps.
Yes.
You know, sort of you know, you listen out for footsteps and you can hear them, but you can also ever so slightly feel them through the HD Rumble, so you know something's coming. And I don't know why I'm constantly going with the horror aspect. I think because it's about immersion and stuff like that, and that's where immersion really comes into play.
Yeah, I mean, it could even tie nicely into, say, like, you know, I mean, you look at, like, Breath of the Wild, when you have... I mean, I know they probably wouldn't do it because, of course, they want to account for people playing with the Pro Controller, but you think about, say, when you get to some dungeons and you have, like, puzzles, you know, there could be some, like, actual puzzle elements with the Joy-Con, which could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, I don't feel like they go down that route because they probably, you know, there might be some people sitting there with a Pro Controller who won't want to do it. But either way, yeah, definitely super cool.
I don't know whether the Pro Controller has HD Rumble or not. I'm assuming it does.
Maybe.
But I'm not sure. You know what? Shall I really quickly look that up?
Sure. I don't think it does. I know it has a gyro.
You talk about something, you know, about the Switch, and I'll do a little bit of research in the meantime.
Sure. Perfect. Yeah. So I think obviously, yeah, from that point we can kind of definitely agree that, like, yeah, 1-2 Switch is going to be one of those bit of a missed opportunity. I feel like a lot of people probably aren't going to pick it up. And yeah, because it's not in a bundle, then it's a shame. So, I mean, yeah, it's basically, I completely agree. I completely agree that there definitely should have been a game. Maybe if they didn't want to go away with putting Zelda with it, fair enough, but they should have at least put either ARMS or 1-2 Switch in it.
I feel 1-2 Switch, you know, because I think ARMS does have definitely more depth than 1-2 Switch.
Yeah, for sure.
And unless it was just that sort of one-on-one that we've seen, but I'm assuming there's a lot more to ARMS that we haven't seen yet. I've just got that, you know, when you see a game, you just get that sort of feeling about it.
Yeah, I mean, because also, you know, at the demo we had, there were, like, 6 playable characters, right? And I mean, I feel like there might well be more. It just seems like the sort of thing they would do. And they're, you know, they're cool characters as well. They're not just sort of like these sort of mindless drones that you take the form of when you're a motion controller. They seem like those kind of characters that would have personality. Like someone, I can't remember who it was, but someone on Twitter said, you know, if they really want to properly market ARMS, they should try and do what like Street Fighter do and actually start trying to build out personalities for the characters in ARMS. You know, so people can start connecting with them. Yeah, I agree,
definitely, yeah. And I must admit, I love the designs.
Yes.
They look so weird and so wacky, but it works. Like the arms being those sort of coils, spirally things. It just looks great.
It does, yeah. It looks super, super awesome.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt you, but my research has come to a conclusion that the Pro Controller does have HD Rumble.
It does. It
does.
Well, then there we go. Oh, that's even more exciting then. I mean, because
it is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because you know, when I played Zelda with the Pro Controller, but you know, I never really kind of encountered situations that would truly benefit from that because I was just running around hacking up, you know, Bokoblin. But that's quite exciting, yeah, because that
is, yeah. It also explains the price point a bit more.
Yes, it does. Yeah, because they are quite pricey. I mean, like especially when you look at like the Joy-Cons. I mean, I can understand there's a lot of tech in those things, but I mean, I think a lot of people, if they don't see or they don't understand that tech, then they're going to look at them and be like, well, they look kind of like miniature Wiimotes. Why am I paying £70 for these?
Yeah, I fully concur.
Yeah, because one of the things that worries me as well is that like, I'm a sucker for this stuff. Like the second they start releasing, they'll be like, hey, Breath of the Wild is out. Here's a special Breath of the Wild Joy-Con. Here's a special like Mario Kart Joy-Con. Here's a special Splatoon themed Joy-Con. I'm gonna be like, I want to buy all of these. I'm gonna do it.
You could start your own E3 type thing called Joycon.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I like it. I like it. Joycon Con. That is cool. Yeah, but I mean that's the problem. I mean, I wonder whether they might drop down at some point, or because you can buy like individual ones, fair enough. But yeah, I mean there's some interesting pricing questions there. But alas, it is what it is. We can't really deal with it right now. So that's something for a later thing. So the other couple of things as well. I mean, there are just sort of like raise it while we're here on the topic of Joy-Con. Some people were having this kind of confusion. Just to be very clear to anyone watching this, the console comes with a Joy-Con grip. This is not the same grip that allows you to charge your Joy-Cons. You get a standard grip with the console, which you put your Joy-Cons in. It turns it into basically like a nice, comfortable controller. It's really nice to hold, very nice to use, but you can't charge your Joy-Cons when they're in this. If you want to charge them when they're in this, you have to buy a separate Joy-Con grip. It's not actually, compared to the other stuff, it's not wildly expensive. It's about £30, but it's still something you have to buy in order to do that. But I wouldn't worry about that. Like, for example, I actually actively have not pre-ordered that because each of the Joy-Cons have a 20-hour battery life.
Blimey, is it that good?
Yep, 20 hours. So and provided they're connected to the Nintendo Switch console, and it's either A, docked, or B, plugged in via a USB-C cable, they're charging again. So when you factor in like your average play session, like even if I'm playing something like Zelda and I play it all day, I'm probably going to take a break at some point, even if it's just for lunch or something. So provided when you do that, you remember to reconnect your Joy-Cons and either plug the USB-C cable in or just put it back in the dock, they're going to be charging again. So if you keep that cycle going, you're probably not going to frequently encounter a situation where they run out of battery.
No, that's incredible. Where did you find out this information? Because this for some reason has completely slipped me by.
There was an article. I will link it to you afterwards.
Thank you very much.
By because I saw some people on Twitter. They were basically having a conversation about this, and they were like, "I read this article, and someone did an interview, and they were like, it basically makes me feel better about the Joy-Con grip thing because I now feel like I don't need to buy one." But yes, I mean, so that's that is something that kind of like alleviates some of the concerns. I mean, again, it would have been nice to back to the whole bundle thing if they could have just slipped that in and be like, yeah, you can kind of do that. But hey, it is what it is. So
yeah, they've got they were talking about trying to keep the cost as low as possible. Although I must admit, something that I cannot forgive is the dock being $90.
Oh, really? I completely missed the price for that. $90 for the dock.
$90 for an HDMI pass-through.
That is, that is
way too much.
Yeah, that is. I mean, especially because before knowing that price, I was thinking, oh, I might pick up like a couple of docks, put one in my room, one in like the downstairs living room or something, and maybe take one with me when I go to like events so I can plug it in a hotel or something. Not if they're $90 a piece.
Yeah, although I'm sure you can be absolutely certain that within a couple of months, third parties will have worked out how to make them themselves, and they'll start chucking them out for 20 quid a time or something like that, because there's no expensive tech in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was weird, because I mean...
At least as far as we know.
Yeah, as far as we know. Well, because the thing is, I looked at it and thought, maybe there's like because obviously to allow you to kind of jump up to like 1080 and stuff, thinking maybe there might be like extra processing power in there or something. But then if you actually look on the official website, there's like a picture of the back of it, so they show you where the cables go. Like the back of it opens up and it's basically hollow. It's literally got
it's just hollow.
Yeah, it's got like a power port, an extra USB port, and an HDMI port. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I must admit, I was curious about the idea of getting one of these USB-C to HDMI cables. And seeing if that works.
That would be an interesting thing to test out, yeah. Because
because it would also mean you'd be able to essentially, I'm not sure why you'd want to do this, but it's it's a possibility. You could have the Switch and use the Switch as a standard controller, whilst sort of the whole unit. I mean, the screen would be off, but you'd still be able to play the game with the Joy-Cons in the big, in that big setup, if that's what you prefer for whatever reason.
I mean, if that worked, I'd walk into like a random tech store and walk into where they've got the TVs and just plug my Switch in and be like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna play Zelda here. I hope you don't mind."
To be fair, you can do that now with like iPhones and stuff like that, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
not saying you should though. That's a lesson for you, anyone listening. Don't do that.
Yeah, they won't be too happy with you. They will not be too happy.
Unless they're really into Zelda as well.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So I suppose the last kind of thing to sort of touch on, because I mean the main things like when we were at the event, just to kind of like be clear to everyone sort of listening, there was like a big section for Zelda, Splatoon, Mario Kart, all of which we've done. 1-2-Switch basically dominated the center of the thing because it was like a nice little circle. We had ARMS, and then there was like a section just at the back of the wall with like third-party games. So I actually didn't get a chance to play any of those.
Me neither.
But we had we had the likes of like Sonic. There was Bomberman. Bomberman, I've seen some gameplay for that. I feel like I picked that game up because I just like Bomberman.
Yeah, I like Bomberman as well, and this is the first time we've had a proper new Bomberman for quite some time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit weird the way they kind of done it visually because it feels like it's not quite like full screen. It's like it's like the Bomberman arena inside a bigger kind of environment, if you see what I mean. So it's like a kind of a windowed sort of feel to it, but it still looks cool. So there's that. And what were the other ones? There's that game that it's such a tease. I mean, there's that game that looks like F-Zero that isn't F-Zero.
What you mean, fast RMX?
Yeah, and I was just like, when they flashed that up during the presentation, like for 2 seconds, and people, I saw Twitter and they were like, "What was that?" It's like, it's not F-Zero. It's not. Please.
Have you played it though? Because I mean, it's on Wii U as well.
No, I haven't. I've seen some videos. It looks fun.
It really is.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
it really is fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's one of my kind of like to sort of remain objective and talk about it a little bit critically is that. I was a little bit more kind of confident after going to the event, but after the presentation at least, I'm still a little bit like hazy as to what exactly their launch lineup is, because beyond Zelda and 1-2-Switch, there hasn't really been...
I have seen an image actually, which has all of the launch information, people compile them nicely over the internet. There's The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 1-2-Switch, Super Bomberman R, Skylanders Imaginators, and Just Dance Some Year.
Right. Fair enough.
I don't know what year it is, and it's not high enough resolution for me to be able to read that part.
No worries. Yeah, I mean, launch is always a weird time for consoles, right? I mean, like, we always hope that there's like a plethora of games that we can kind of play through and whatnot. I mean, I appreciate the reason that, we're not going to get Mario Odyssey, but I think that's a sensible choice because I don't think Nintendo want to, as much as I would love to play Mario Odyssey on the 3rd as well, I feel like Nintendo don't want to put out 2 of their big IPs at the same time. So
I totally understand that because it's, sort of, for most people, it's going to be one or the other. We're obviously very lucky when we're in a situation where we can just have all the games, but that's not where most people are, and, sort of budgetary restrictions and things like that. So I think it's very sensible, and also putting out a Mario game is, in holiday 2017 is basically giving the Switch a second launch.
It is true. Yeah,
the holiday market is going to go mental over that, and it's got a Mario game. You're not going to be able to hold them back.
No, exactly. No, that's fair. That's true. Actually, it's true. I think the one thing that the one thing I was a little bit disappointed that didn't make launch was Mario Kart. To me, that just seems like a how is it not ready for launch kind of thing? Because I mean, that would have been like the perfect bundle. I would have bought Mario. I would have bought Zelda to be my single player game. I'd just sit there, like keep myself to myself and have fun on the game. Go to Mario Kart for like some nice online battles with people or, some local stuff, and then maybe pick up something like ARMS or potentially 1-2-Switch if I can kind of blag a bargain or something. But that would have been like a great launch lineup. I mean, but then having said that, Mario Kart isn't too far away, right? I think in fact there was some information at the event. I think it's slated for like end of April, isn't it?
28th, yeah. It's the same day that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 comes out.
Hey, nice. Oh, so that means you can go to watch Guardians of the Galaxy while taking your Switch and sitting in the cinema playing Mario Kart.
Yes, great. Although that's not recommended. That's not recommended either.
That is true. That is very true. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Well, in that case, I feel like we've covered a good chunk of it. I don't know if there's anything else you kind of want to sort of talk Switch or anything, or if there's otherwise, I think we've covered like a good chunk of it, a good chunk of the games and whatnot.
I'm really excited, although I probably have no right to be for Project Sonic 2017.
Okay.
Because most 3D Sonic games are complete bilge, to be honest, with a few like semi-redeeming factors. But I call me an idiot. I'm a nostalgic git. I really like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, despite the fact Sonic Adventure especially is a complete broken mess. But I think that's part of the fun of it. But yeah, I'm excited because we've started to see a much more sensible, grounded Sega. I'm really hoping that comes through in Project Sonic.
Okay, yeah.
And also Sonic Mania is coming to Switch, which is great.
True. This is true. This is very true. Sweet. All right, well, in that case, thank you very much. Massive shout out, as always, to Alex from Nintendo Life. As always, you guys can find links to both Alex's Twitter and Nintendo Life site and YouTube channel in the description box down below. Definitely check them out. If you're not subscribed already, then make sure you do so, because there'll be plenty of Nintendo Switch content on their channel as well. But aside from that, thank you for listening. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about Switch that maybe we haven't answered just yet, then drop them down below. I will do my best to try and cover them. But aside from that, thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.